We're talking NBA draft on today's Golden State Warriors today. But before we get started, do you like the Warriors? Do you love the Warriors? NBA champions, 4 titles in 8 years, a dynastic run for Golden State. If that's the case, hit that thumbs up icon, show some love and like the video. Let's talk some Warriors basketball right now. What's up? Welcome in. What's good? You're watching Golden State Warriors today by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Dub Nation, how you feeling? And how does it feel to hear Golden State Warriors 2021-2022 NBA champions? It's pretty awesome. Now, we celebrated that championship, but now it's time to pivot our focus to the NBA draft. And what are the Warriors going to do with pick number 28? Are they going to trade it? Are they going to hold on to that selection? And if they hold on to it, who could they target? They also have a couple of second-round picks as well. Who could they look to draft in the second round? All of that coming up on today's show. But multiple reports suggesting that the Warriors could look to deal that 28th overall pick away. Now, it gives sense when you ask me, and makes a lot of sense when you look at the Warriors' payroll situation and the fact that they have a couple of young players who they're building this roster with. Remember James Wiseman, the number 2 pick from 2 drafts ago? Yeah, he's still on this roster. So too is Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. And when you look forward for the Warriors, all 3 of those players figure to have increased roles for this team moving forward. And that's a really good sign. And it's really beneficial for Golden State to have those young 3 players on this team contributing to the roster. Why? Because you're looking at a situation where if you give Jordan Poole a contract extension, as well as Andrew Wiggins, you're very tight on money. You're already paying big-time bucks to Draymond Green, Steph Curry, as well as Klay Thompson, and you might have to let a couple of free agents walk. That's the whole point of recharging, resetting, rejuvenating the roster, and moving ahead with some of the young pieces on this team who you're not paying as much money to as compared to some other veteran players across the league. So you get to kind of rejuvenate the team to a certain degree with that young influx of talent in Kuminga, Moody, and Wiseman. And because of that, you might not have any other young roster spots available for a 28th overall pick. Second round, a little bit different. You stash them in the G League. So we'll see what happens with the Warriors' 28th overall selection. No matter what they do, we're going to be talking about it on draft night. That's why you subscribe to the channel. First, though, will the Warriors find a trade for the 28th pick in the draft? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no in the comment section right now. Coming up now on the show, Warriors mock draft if they do keep the 28th overall pick. We put this through the mock simulation. Which player did the Warriors pick? That's coming up here in just a few moments. But first, here is how the mock draft simulator played out. Jabari Smith, Paolo Banchero, Jaden, Ivey, Chet Holmgren, Keegan Murray, Dyson Daniels, Bennedict, Mathurin, Shaedon, Sharpe, Johnny Davis, and Jalen Duren, the top 10 picks. How about this? Ousmane Dieng, Malachi Branham, Mark Williams, Walker Kessler, Jeremy Sohan, A.J. Griffin, E.J. Liddell, Ty Washington, Tari Eason, and Jalen Williams, going picks 11 through 20. And here's where the Warriors come into play. Kennedy Chandler, Blake Wesley, Ochai Agbaji, Jaden Hardy, Marjan Beauchamp, Nikola Jovic, and Dalen Terry, all going in those picks in the lead up to the Warriors. As for who the Warriors pick in this simulator, we'll tell you in just a few moments. But first, make sure you subscribe to our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. Just recently eclipsed 300,000 subscribers, and on draft night, we'll be live 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, 2 hours before the draft. And when the draft comes here, we'll be talking about every single selection in both rounds. Then after the draft, recapping everything. You don't want to miss the most watched draft coverage on YouTube as well as Rumble, so make sure you subscribe using that link down below, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Here were the top prospects available when the Warriors selection came around. Jake LaRavia out of Wake Forest. He's been climbing up draft boards. As for Christian Braun, he's been slipping on some draft boards. David Roddy out of Colorado State, also on the board. So too is Trevor Keels out of Duke, and Wendell Moore, his Duke teammate. Pick one to draft among these 5. Let me know and get that comment section flowing. Do you want LaRavia? Type JR. Christian Braun. Type CB. David Roddy. DR. Trevor Keels TK. Or Wendell Moore WM. Now, I did make the pick here. And I had my selection at a couple of players who we just talked about. I'm going Christian Braun here. The guard out of Kansas is who I think the Warriors should take if he's on the board at number 28. I think that you can plug and play him from day one. I think that he can be an impact player for a playoff team and a championship contender, which is what the Warriors figure to be coming off the NBA championship. My scouting profile for him, he's 6'6" with some crazy bounce. He played 4 positions at Kansas this past year, and the fact that he went back to school was awesome for him because he was able to improve his draft stock, most importantly, improve his game. Has a corner 3 down, but I'd like to see him extend that out to the 3-point arc. And he can be a high-level defender, and his upside, a defender with a 3-ball. And those types of players are really important. Now, you might have to move on from an Otto Porter Jr. After the championship run, he might look to, after getting that ring, go to another team and make some more money because he signed on for the vet min last year, and Christian Braun can help replace that lost production. 14 points per game for the national champions last year, 6.5 rebounds, a steal per game, little less than a block per night, and he was able to knock down 39% of his shots from downtown. I really think that he can help a team early in the NBA, especially a team that's ready to compete. That's what the Warriors are going to be next year. I don't see any drop-off with this squad. They're still in that championship window. That's why I really like Braun. As for who the Warriors could pick in the second round, we'll tell you, but first make sure you subscribe to the channel. Really want to thank all of you for helping us get to 31,000 subscribers. We were able to get there overnight thanks to that Filipino jet stream. YouTube.com/Warriors TV. Hit that red subscribe button. Top prospects at number 51. 5 more of them. Ryan Rollins, Gene Montero, Ron Harper Jr., Yannick Nzosa, and Ziga Samar. Some Europeans here, some international players, some domestic players. And I'm going with Ron Harper here at 51. This guy's a really, really fun player who's got a really interesting body type. His pops used to play in the league and has a really fascinating game. The forward out of Rutgers, pick number 51 in our Warriors mock draft. This past year with Rutgers, hit a lot of big shots. He's done that and has had the propensity to hit some clutch buckets throughout his collegiate career. 16 points per game, pretty good rebounder for his size. Hit about 44% of his shots, but for a guy who does have some size, has some bulk, about 40% from 3, these types of players are really valuable. I also like his passing ability from the high post. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit, and sometimes you watch him given that size, and you're like, man, he really does have some wiggle. And with the Dubs, maybe he doesn't make the NBA roster, but you put him in the G League, and I think because of his energy, because of that aforementioned size, and his overall well-rounded game, he can certainly play really well with Santa Cruz. Top prospects at number 55 with the Warriors' final selection. Ryan Rollins still on the board. Darian Sebrin out of NC State, Collin Gillespie out of Villanova, Carlo Matkovic out of Mega, and Keon Ellis out of Alabama. Keon Ellis is a good player, kind of a 3-and-D guy, but I want to go Collin Gillespie here for a couple of reasons, and I'll explain that over time. I don't want to do Chris Chioza as a backup point guard. I want a guy who doesn't necessarily need to score the basketball all that much, right? I want a guy who can facilitate, who can run an offense, a winning player who joins a winning culture. How about these accolades for Gillespie at Nova? 2 Final Four appearances, 2018 national title, 2-time Big East Player of the Year, brings leadership and smarts to the table, and he is a savvy winning player. And when you think about everything that the Warriors stand for, the selfless culture led by the most selfless superstar of all time in Steph Curry, a winning culture, having to make sacrifices. That's what Gillespie came from at Villanova. That's what the Warriors would be getting. And another guy who I think can play right away as a rookie if he's asked to do so. And a guy who you want in the long haul to impact your roster. So to round things out, our Warriors mock draft. Christian Braun out of Kansas, round 128. If the Warriors keep that pick, Ron Harper Jr. at 51 overall. Then Collin Gillespie rounding things out at 55. Grade my Warriors mock draft. We put it through the simulator. I made the picks, A, B, C, D, or F. You can rip me in the comment section if you want. You can praise me, whatever you got to do. Just comment my grade for this Warriors mock draft and keep it locked for Warriors draft day coverage and beyond.